Hollywood actress Jennifer Garner has just disturbed the entire internet by reading a book to children. Yes, you heard that right. This isn't just a regular book, it's a book that manipulates children and hiding secrets from their parents, and it's a pizza book at that. If you don't know about why this is disturbing people across the internet, and why I believe Jennifer Garner is one of the biggest industry plants in Hollywood, at least is at the very minimum a CIA asset. And I know that's a bold statement, but I intend to back it up before this video ends. You want to stay tuned for this. Here is the beginning of the downfall of Jennifer Garner.
It's called Secret Pizza Party.
Tomorrow the day.
Pepper, then you're gonna love this book.
Pepperoni. Are they all pepperoni?
Here's Sebastian, look.
So the FBI had confirmed that, pizza terms, etc., they can mean some pretty devious things, like in the human trafficking network and child trafficking networks, that they use terms like pepperoni to identify boy, or they might use sausage and things like that, or hot dog. There's certain terminology that was used in these networks to identify children that are for sale, as crazy as it sounds. Now, a lot of people are giving Jennifer Garner backlash because they believe that this is some type of symbolism. I don't know. It sounds crazy, right? That her reading this book off the children, this book is about hiding, keeping secrets from their parents, literally. It's a pretty devious book itself. Just pretty much reading this book to the children has led to a lot of backlash and people just saying that it's a pretty eerie video. It's a pretty eerie situation. What does she gain from this? I want to also add right here, this is a perfect point to add this, that Jennifer Garner is always in the wrong places at the right time, literally. And to me, that screams like CIA asset, like crisis actor. She's there with the fire. She's there with the save of children, any of the crisis. I mean, literally, any crisis you can think of, Jennifer Garner is there. And it's like, why do they have this specific celebrities that they can call on at any time something goes wrong? Jennifer Garner is one of them. So it's led to people believing that she is one of the elitists in Hollywood. She's always able to go to all these award shows, etc., without really being relevant in the movies. As I stated in my last video about Tom Hanks, it appears that some of these celebrities are put in position to be a star. That way, when they get older and gain the trust from the people, they get to serve the government as an asset. And it gives them full immunity of any of the degenerate stuff that they want to do. And these guys get degenerated. I'm telling you, I know from firsthand experience. So it makes me feel like people like Garner, once they're done really making headlines from their movies, it's time for them to serve their government or serve the establishment, deep state cabal, Illuminati, what you want to call it, to push propaganda. And if that is true, and Garner is one of those that's doing that, it would make sense why people are coming up with conspiracies and are disturbed by a woman, let's say former actress, just reading a children's book about pizza to kids is disturbing them. It tells you how much human consciousness has changed as a whole and how much people, Americans specifically, are skeptical of everything. They've got a little bit too updated too fast, and everything it's raising eyebrows that's coming in front of us now. In this age of information, you can see that the human consciousness, however we're vibrating, etc., whatever frequency on, it's much higher. There's things that they used to could put in front of the TV they can't put no more. Symbolism, we're in the age of the death of symbolism because people have gotten too smart. You, the viewer, you've gotten too smart.
The end.
Listen, I know you've knocked and knocked, and I know you've called and called. I know you've given and given, and you're worn out. But the truth is, you are the front lines. This is it. I mean, I'm looking at these beautiful faces, these women, and at these strong men. God, is there anything sexier than a man who is like men for Kamala?
Always in the wrong places at the right time. Like, how is it that these celebrities are always in the wrong places at the right time?
You are the front line of this battle, for lack of a better word. It really is. There are two ways forward, and you guys are going to have a huge voice in how that way is chosen.
Your work, Jennifer, with Save the Children, particularly in West Virginia, where you grew up, right?
All of rural America.
But you grew up in West Virginia.
I grew up in West Virginia, and really growing up surrounded by generational rural poverty, and also having a mom who grew up.
Now, why this is relevant is because Save the Children is currently being investigated for child trafficking. And she is a longtime partner of it, along with some other celebrities. It's pretty interesting. And just to hear about her background with the Save the Children, man, we got so much to get into. Not only is she connected to Save the Children, Jennifer Garner has been connected with children throughout her Hollywood career for some reason. It's similar to Chrissy Teigen, just like Chrissy Teigen is working with like IVF or some things like that. It's very interesting that these specific celebrities that are considered Hollywood elitists are working with baby type companies and doing things that involve children. You know, Save the Children, she's been working with Save the Children for as early as like the 2010s, which is absolutely crazy. But she also sells things that helps children. Like, a lot of people don't know, Jennifer Garner started up baby formula, which she could just generally like children, okay? But we're starting to find out in society, especially with these freaky deaky teachers, that more times than not, individuals that are interested in helping children need to be investigated before they're allowed to do so. And I'm just saying, that's what we reached in society. Maybe I'm too red-pilled or black-pilled.
In rural poverty, and who benefited enormously from people giving her a hand up. But I was surrounded by kids growing up who didn't have that same start. And it always seemed really unfair to me. Yeah. So once I was in a position, which is so strange to find yourself having a bit of a voice, I hunted down what organization had the most efficacy in rural America, and it was Save the Children.
You have talked, Jennifer, about frankly feeling powerless when you were a child and not being able to stand up for those friends and classmates most in need. And you said, Jennifer, at one point, I couldn't stand up for those children when I was a kid, but I can stand up for them and those like them now. How do you do that through this company?
Well, Save the Children, we really focus on three things. We focus on getting kids up, ready to learn and at reading at grade level by the 3rd grade, so we focus birth to 8. We partner with programs in the community to empower the community and to help those kids flourish then from when we hand them off in 3rd grade all the way up through career, hopefully, and then advocacy work. And I spent a lot of time going, state to state and to DC to
yeah, you've called
advocate.
out Congress. I mean, your powerful op-ed on CNN.com a year or so ago here, shaming.
And look at this, what I'm saying. So Jennifer Garner constantly gets CNN publications, which these things cost tens of thousands of dollars, guys. Go to CNN and try to get you an article on there with your website and see what they charge you. $50,000, $150,000, $300,000, $400,000 for ad placements. And she gets this without headlining movies. You got to understand, Hollywood is massive. Although everyone can be famous, not everyone is getting media headlines. They only get headlines when they're trending for movies or say something wild in the interview. She doesn't do any of those things, but Jennifer Garner constantly garners media attention. That screams industry plant, because the industry is pushing money and resources behind someone that isn't benefiting the industry. It's not about the money. I was just talking to Pearl Davis. It's a famous YouTuber. Shout out to Pearl if you're watching this. And she was like, man, I ran media companies, and I was wondering how are so many people starting media companies, and I'm seeing how some of the overhead is so massive. How are people being able to fund these media companies without making money? Her from running a media company, she's able to identify what is necessary to have one. And she looks at some people, look at their numbers, and she knows how much they probably can make. She can pretty much pinpoint it from her eyes from having the experience. And she says, well, Dom, how the hell are they running it? And I said, well, it's one of the craziest conspiracies there is, that a lot of these people are being ran by intelligence agencies. Intelligence agencies are funding them. You have people that are news anchors that job before being a news anchor was CIA and an intelligence. And then they only work at those companies for 6 months, and then they resume scrubs and they become a CNN anchor. This has happened. I spoke about it plenty of times. Anderson Cooper, for one. These things, they happen. It's very interesting. But someone's keeping the lights on because it's not about them bringing money back. It's about manipulating the masses. And that's why your attention, your time is priceless. It's priceless. They're willing to have their own celebrities to push a message to get you to believe it. Your attention and your time, you the viewer, is priceless.
In Congress,
it's a social justice, just crisis.
Yeah. So how does the for-profit company, Once Upon a Farm, tie into this?
When we first met and I saw her passion for these issues, and we thought about kids' nutrition in general, and I saw this big opportunity to really advance fresh food and make it more available. And so from the very beginning, we talked about our mission to do this, not just for people in New York City and high income areas, but to make this food accessible to everybody. So we're working through our product line to make this food accessible.
So help me understand that, Jennifer, right? Because average price for a pound is a little over $3. The poorest families in America cannot afford that. What are you doing to change that? I know that there's some work that you're doing through the government-backed programs like WIC, Women, Infants, and Children.
In order to even qualify for WIC, you have to bring the prices way down. It has to reach a certain price point. So we are continuing to have it be organic, fresh, cold process, all of these things. But we're simplifying some of our formulas so that they are even more simple and will be very, very affordable. Not just for WIC moms, although we will be hopefully the first. Hopefully we have to go through the process, but the first
to qualify.
Yeah.
But you have said before, Jennifer, how you do anything is how you do everything. What do you mean?
I don't jump into things lightly, and when I do, I do it with my whole heart. I take my job, I consider it a job, with Save the Children very, very seriously. I did not...
Like, she's getting media headline, not from being an actress, but from Save the Children, but no one is talking about her actual accolades of it. Am I a hater for just pointing this out, or am I just being a fair journalist?
Jump onto this company lightly. I don't want to just be.
She loves her
the
Save the
face
Children
of a brand that is not even the brands that I am the face of or am a face of. I take it very, very seriously.
I know you lost a friend.
I did lose a friend.
Like I said, in the wrong places at the right time. I mean, in the worst places at the right time. Here she goes again. Jennifer Garner, when the LA fires, she claimed she lost a friend but never identified who the friend was. Claimed she lost a friend in the fire. The entire internet, guys, I even made a YouTube video on this. The internet cooked her for this, saying that they believe she was lying, that if you had a friend, you could identify the name. But how is she always there at every freaking crisis, able to push the narrative every damn time? It's getting to the point it makes you believe the crisis actor theory, that a lot of these events and scenarios that happen and the people they put on camera are actually crisis actors that's prepared for that. If you're an actor that isn't that successful, I can see the government use you as an asset and to play your role and act during crises to push a narrative. It's just, I don't know, man.
And then for our church.
It's like she wanted to create a scenario, and it's like, we don't know how people are going to react to things, even as creators. I don't know, like my Tom Hanks video is doing really good. I didn't know if that video was going to get 20 views or 1,000. It's the same thing when they push propaganda. They don't know how you're going to react. But I truly do believe that the powers that be that's behind Jennifer Garner pushed this story that she lost a friend, hoping that it would take people's attentions away from those that did pull up all the water, from the absolute negligence from the city and how Democrats were to blame for the fires, and just piss poor management of Los Angeles. It would have took all that away and sensationalized the story about Jennifer Garner friend. Now, had it been 2006, 2009, that might have worked. Like I said, you, the viewer, have gotten smarter. No one cared when she made this story, so it went away. They don't know what works anymore. You guys are making it harder for the propagandists, for the spin doctors.
It's really tender, so I don't feel like I should talk about her yet. But yeah, I did lose a friend who did not get out in time. And,
Hello, my name is Finn Affleck. I'm reading verse 8. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 8. Better is a little with righteousness than large income with injustice.
And of course, so if you don't know who the person was before this, right here is Pandabusu Fast. That's Jennifer Garner's daughter, shaved head and became a transgender. And this typical thing that happened with these Hollywood celebrities. Most of the time they adopt black people, black kids, and they become transgender, man. It's crazy. Almost everyone Angelina Jolie kids ain't what they started off to be. So it's interesting. It's like they have these projects. I'm not saying they're children of projects, but it's like they have these assignments from Hollywood, like Dwayne Wade. He no longer went viral for anything until his son became a girl. And it's like they give them the ability, even Marlon Wayans. He makes good content or whatever. But Marlon Wayans started going viral again once he started talking about his son being gay. And it's like, man, celebrities be 10 and 5 steps ahead of everyone else. And it feels like the propagandists tell them, make sure you raise your children gay or whatever, or transgender, so you can push and normalize this. And this isn't what I'm saying that is true. It's just, man, it leads you to believe that because they all share something. Those that are not viral for their accolades, Hollywood getting Grammys, getting Oscars, she's not doing any of that, but constantly in the media, they typically have similar traits. They typically are working with children, and their children themselves typically have transitioned. That in itself, it's a trend. I'm not attacking anyone, but I'm just noticing trends. And there's a lot of strange trends in Hollywood.
In verse 8, better is a little with righteousness than large income with injustice.
And of course, one of her good friends, Harvey Weinstein, look how hard she's smiling. You can't even find her smile that hard anymore. She don't smile that hard when she up in children. That motherfucking smiling hard, bruh. And it's suspect. These people are very suspect. So the internet is ready to get rid of Jennifer Garner. And it's mainly because of Save the Children thing. She's always working with Save the Children, yet she's never spoke out against the human trafficking allegations from the organization. And even right here, I found a post with Save the Children promoting her in 2024.
I feel like just one person can't make a difference, but I am here to tell you, you can.
They call her their friend. Like it's that personal.
By voting. Here are 3 reasons why your vote matters. Your vote tells candidates which issues matter most.
And here, right here, one of my friends, Liz Crokin, had cooked Jennifer Garner, I see. And she broke down how Jennifer Garner is also Ben Affleck's ex. And Ben Affleck's house got raided by the FBI just a few days ago, actually. And she was saying that Garner is Affleck's ex, and she is the ambassador of Save the Children, which is under investigation for allegedly child trafficking. So she's connected to some pretty strange things, I'll tell you that in itself. And right here is the proof by Associated Press, which is, to me, the most credible news media company. I mean, hell, they pretty much own everyone if you do your research. Reporting that Guatemala prosecutors raided the offices of Save the Children's charity, which has led to the trafficking allegations. Now, here's a video that explains that a little bit better, and it also ties into the USAID war that Elon Musk has started with the government. And this right here is very interesting.
It was USAID that I fear much more than the CIA, because the USAID is how CIA gets shit done.
USAID is clearly in the job of trying to bring about regime change. It has secret bank accounts, shell companies.
USAID gets $50 billion a year in U.S. taxpayer money. That's a larger overt fund than the CIA has.
USAID perhaps is the new CIA.
Have we ever tried to meddle in other countries' elections?
Oh, probably.
This is not just about over there. This is about here.
They have a process, a system by which they destroy other nations, and they use that same process and system in order to destroy the United States.
It's a plot against our own people.
America, what if I told you that the United States government was acting like the world's Gestapo, using organizations like USAID under the pretense of humanitarian aid to topple government?
Elon Musk has really uncovered a lot with this right here.
Install politicians and orchestrate regime changes in third world countries.
I disagree with that as somebody who has helped plan coup d'etat. Yeah. Not here, but, other places.
These are places that are practically entirely run at this point by the CIA and the U.S. State Department, which is, of course, a CIA front.
USAID provides most of the money.
This isn't a giveaway.
The State Department provides the policy vision.
This makes a difference to people's perception of us. Tricky endeavors, whether it's fighting terrorism,
Al-Shabaab groups in USAID camps,
or narcotics.
Joe Biden's State Department is commanding the Taliban to keep the opium flowing.
Or oppression or resistance to governance.
Those USAID trucks were stopped at the border to Venezuela with fully automatic weapons.
All of those things.
I don't think that's humanitarian aid.
What a difference that makes.
And if we stand for democracy anywhere, we have to stand for it everywhere, including in Guatemala.
Guatemala, what if I told you that USAID, the State Department, and the CIA created a fraudulent political party and then used that illegitimate party to rig the 2023 Guatemalan election so they could install a list of CIA-controlled politicians who would continue to allow them to run the world's largest child trafficking.
And he says CIA controlled, and that's also what I was saying Jennifer Garner might be. It would make sense. It would all connect. They first set up the corruption, set up the narrative, give the narrative to PR companies. The PR companies give it to celebrities, and celebrities regurgitate it, and they claim it'll give their career a boost, which it does. It gets them a seat at the White House and all these other things that they don't deserve because they're not getting accolades for their career. Pay attention to a lot of things, even in every party, including conservative party, any part of media, anyone that's in entertainment. if people are being put on a pedestal, being able to speak on stage, getting media press, check and see what their recent accolades are. If there aren't many, then it might be propaganda behind it. I'm seeing that myself. I've had a lot of great accolades that even the Trump campaign had copied. The Blacks Against Harris space. When I did the Blacks Against Harris Zoom call, we went super viral. Had more users than anyone that Kamala Harris had on any of hers, pretty much combined, right? Instead of people getting me a seat at Trump table, someone in the Trump campaign launched their own Zoom call, pretty much titled the same thing, doing what I did. Okay. When I set up the Chicago Going Red campaign, I joined the Chicago Going Red campaign in Chicago with Mark Carter. I helped Mark Carter go viral when I shared his content on Twitter, which also in turn helped Chicago. If you look at it, Donald Trump did better in Chicago than any recent Republican president. And that's attributed to my contribution. I'm very humble with my contribution with Chicago. What happened? I took Mark Carter to Mar-a-Lago, to Donald Trump's house. And I won't reveal the name, but someone that works on Trump team, this woman, pulled him from me, took him to Trump, and presented it as if it's hers. This is politics. So there's some people, even me myself, that are supposed to be in higher positions, but through propaganda, certain positions are already selected. No matter how good you are, no matter how many accolades you have, sometimes you got to be so loud that you're louder than the system, and that in itself takes time. But people like Garner, they'll be pushed up in these amazing positions, have CNN, etc., to be seen in front of the people. But compare her to someone like I Show Speed, which is a streamer that has people all across all the world. Every time we go to a country, you got the entire country damn near following him, to the point police have to give him private free escorts. So he did that without the system. So you can definitely be larger than the system, because the system can control how large you can get, but the people make you limitless.
Trafficking network out of Guatemala.
Nothing to do with that? Correlation, not causation?
That is absurd.
They didn't deny it, which means that they admitted it.
This is no question, a political shocker in Guatemala.
The U.S. government, the Biden administration, helped cover up voter fraud.
Why Guatemala? Why not some other country?
Guatemala is concerned about child trafficking, the NGOs that are trafficking the children.
Jill Biden was the chairman of the board of Save the Children.
You guys just raided Save the Children.
Guess who stepped in? The State Department, U.S. Embassy, and USAID. Another coincidence?
America. What if I told you that DHS, under the direct orders of Alejandro Mayorkas, would create a public-private partnership with Mexican cartels, and that HHS, under the direct orders of Xavier Becerra, would create a public-private partnership with NGOs like Save the Children and Southwest Key Programs. And in this quasi-public-private partnership, they would use your tax dollars to fund the world's largest international child trafficking operation.
As to whom we know where they are, that is outside the responsibility of the Department of Homeland Security.
This is nothing but lies. Nothing but lies.
Secretary Mayorkas, he acts like none of this ever happens.
It's his policies that caused over 500,000 of children being smuggled in this country.
And he also knew who to blame.
HHS places those children.
That's on you.
Was that a question to me? Are you familiar with the sponsors that utilize a strip club as an address?
You shrug your shoulders and then send another batch of kids out to sponsor.
Human trafficking bust at an egg farm. Federal prosecutors call it modern-day slavery.
Of course, we investigate cases of trafficking.
Another lie.
An amazing video, truly. But more ramifications, it's weird how all of these things connect. You guys know you come to this channel for someone that's not afraid to speak on what you've heard about and to add some validation to it. That's how I blew up on X. I'm not afraid to speak on the hard topics. The goal is to save the children the right way without a .org at the end of it. And anytime I have the opportunity to shed some light on it and what's going on in Hollywood, I'm going to do that. Thank you. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm going to keep posting. Like I said, we're doing our 2 a day. I'm back like I have been, like I've never been back before. But I do have to get ready to go to D.C., to go to the White House after my invite. And thank you guys for all your warm wishes. I wish I could thank you all because you're thanking me on YouTube and every platform. But thank you for the warm wishes. I'll be out there on Thursday, God willing, everything work out. And I'll take a lot of photos and, of course, give you my opinion. I might do a video while I'm out in D.C. Maybe I can get a selfie with Donald Trump on video. That would be really cool. But, yeah, click the notification bell if you're enjoying the content as much as I'm enjoying bringing it to you. And I'll keep bringing it to you. See you guys on the next one until we break the next narrative.